That's right, there is a new Digimon game made by a fan, Dragonrod Art. Sure, it may not actually be made by Bandai, but they haven't told us anything about their new game in years. Digital Tamers 2 is a game clearly with a lot of passion to it. With over 400 Digimon collect, multiple cities to rebuild, challenges with specific requirements to face, there are a lot of different things to do and think about in this game. Like in many Digimon games, this might seem a bit overwhelming at first. Now, with my first level 100 Ultra Digimon under my belt and several hours in this game, let me give you a few tips that might help you in your experience to help keep things going smoothly in your game so you don't feel stuck. And if you stick through to the end of the video, there might be a secret 6th tip just for you. Now, the number one thing to talk about is there's one thing that has a lot of different options that you might have to consider, and that is the Tamer skill. If you gain enough experience by doing battles, you will see that there is a bar for Tamer experience. Eventually, you will level up. Every level that you gain will give you 3 Tamer points, which you can then use by going into the Tamer menu and unlocking Tamer skills from the habitat. Here you will find a wide variety of them to pick from. There are 2 specifically that I want to point out here that I very much recommend that you go for almost immediately. The evolution reveal, so you know what the heck you're doing in order to actually digivolve your Digimon, which generally means just getting a whole lot of species experience of the type that you have will let you digivolve, so it may not be critical, but it helps feel so much better in understanding what you have to do in order to get those digivolutions. And also another one on a different page is the one that increases your spawned items, because there are several recruitments that I've run into, and I bet you there will still be more that even I haven't found yet, that require you to have picked up certain items in order to get golden acorns, different items that you have required to craft, like I needed a bunch of the fire jellies in order to make the regular torch. There are many of these different recruitings that require specific items for you to get. So reducing the number of trash items that you find and increasing the general spawn rate of these items seems to nearly double, if not more, the number of items that you will find while you are wandering around the digital world. And this will help you greatly when you are trying to find anything in particular that the game throws at you, or if you're lucky, you'll have already found. There are other Tamer skills that are certainly very handy to pick up. Most of the training ones are particularly cheap. Just do bear in mind that training is capped for each Digimon based on its stage. So my Ultra is sitting there at maxed out training and I can't do any more training on her. So it is nice and it feels really good to increase your training, but in the end, you'll always end up getting there, especially because there's items to increase your training anyway. So more of what I recommend is, like I said, the items, being able to heal while on the map up to more, being able to reduce the amount of energy it takes and the hunger that you do so you don't have to go back as much, because when you are grinding you will want to be out there long periods of time. So those are some of the Tamer skills that I would recommend. Now, one of the important things that you will run into early on is a Digimon called Dracomon. He'll probably be about maybe the 4th Digimon that you have going into Village, and his quest is critical for you to do about as soon as you can, because he's a bit dodgy about what the reward is, but he asks you to bring him 3 golden acorns. Now, these golden acorns can be found fairly early on. If you go west from the Village of Beginnings after you've defeated Leomon, you'll be able to get into Dyna Plains. Here you'll be able to find a few random things that are on the ground. Biomon here will even tell you about finding things on the ground. But what you're looking for is small little yellow dots that appear on the trees. There's not a lot of trees to look at, but you will, every so often, find one of these. These are the golden acorns that you need. Now, in order to increase the number of acorns that you can find, there is the Tamer skill, like I talked about earlier, that will allow you to find more of them. But one of the other tricks is that so long as the map is loaded, it has the potential to spawn such things. So, the longer you stay just sitting there on a map AFK, the more items will spawn. Of course, that's not the most exciting thing to do, is just sit there and be AFK. But if you're willing to go sit there on a map, go do dishes, and come back, you may very well be able to find yourself an acorn. Or just keep wandering around the map doing battles as I did, and eventually, after about 20 minutes of really trying, I was able to find my 3 acorns and turn them back. But what he gives you that is so important is challenge mode. I'm not going to go too deep into challenge mode here because that could be its own video about how to possibly use that. But challenge mode is an incredible way to get species-specific experience quickly, and also good chunks of Digi experience that you need to level up your Digimon, and also some of those are required to unlock other recruitments for the cities. So challenge mode is very important. Number 3, keep an eye out for the random shops that are around the world. Now, these aren't just random shops that like, oh, you can go to one specific area and you will find them. No, these are completely random shops that, except for a few that you can get to move into cities, you have to rely on pure dumb luck to find. And some of them are really good in what they give you. Especially Mon Shop, which of course is one of the rare ones and hard for me to find, but he gives you experience boosters, and these are incredible if you want to just sit in an area grinding species experience and a lot of digi experience at the same time while out in the wild. These can give you 200, 300, or 400% boost to your experience gains, making them incredibly powerful. Do keep in mind that some particular bosses, they won't work in challenge mode, they will only work on the main. Use them. Or Tamer is another one that is very important to find, for he will give you incense, or these lures that will bring in the leader monsters, for those of you who are looking for them. So grinding for the leader monsters is a bit more of late game things, because you can do more with them later. Or finding Sangomon, who will give you lures, which you need those lures in order to catch some fish that are required for one of the recruitments for Digimon later. So make sure whenever these random shops pop up, you take advantage and buy as much as you can. Unless it's the ones that are, Katsumon and Floramon and just decoration. Unless you really like decorating your habitats, then go right for it. That's all up to you. That's not one of my priorities. But there's no wrong way to play these games. That's the beauty of it. Number 4. When you are defeating random Digimon, you will find every so often that they drop these cards or card packs that look like the cards from Tamers. Then they come in 3 different ranks, or 4 different ranks, 1 to 4. These packs can be used as a lure on the world map at any point in the digital world, and they will summon a boss. For a rank 1 pack will summon a level 40 boss, rank 2 50, rank 3 60, and rank 4 70. Do be aware that these Digimon are bosses. They are definitely a bit more difficult than your average level 40, 50, 60, or 70 monster. So be careful when you are spawning them and deciding to fight them for the time. But these are great for their drops that they give you. You can sell the eggshells that they give you. They can give you healing items. They can give you experience boosting items that allow you to just give a Digimon experience. They will give you accelerators and evolutors, which you will need in order to reach Mega or Ultra if your Digimon has access to forms that high. They can give you items that will allow you to gain a specific species experience. They can give you an incredible amount of things that you can use to help train up your Digimon. So don't be like me and for a long time completely ignore these packs, especially because many times when you defeat a rank 1 monster, it'll drop you a rank 2 pack, or rank 2 will drop you rank 3. And many times they'll drop you the 1 rank higher, so you can refresh and keep farming these. And sometimes even the rank 4s will drop 1 or 2 packs themselves. So many times you can just keep farming these, as long as you're strong enough to go up through the ranks. And number 5, whenever you are feeling a bit stuck and not sure about where to go, unlike Digimon World games, there is no NPC that you can go back to who will just tell you, hey, there's a Digimon over in this area who looks down, why don't you go check it out? There is nothing like that, sadly. It is one of the things I wish the game would add. So, what you have to do is make sure that you never get complacent and only sit in one area. Whenever you go back, make sure you're going all the way back through all of the areas that you have been. And if you're finding all of this helpful, make sure you go down and find yourself the subscribe button that is down below, and make sure you never miss any tips and news about Digimon from me again. But the biggest thing to do when you're looking around at places that you have been is to find the giant Koromon. He is the one that will begin what is essentially the main story of this game. Of course, this game is like a Digimon World 1 style game where so far the plot is only so deep. I don't think that is the main focus of this game, at least for the first 20 hours, but that will be what pushes what is the closest this game has to a main plot, allows you to unlock more things and begin the second act of the game is when you find him enough times in all the different places and go there. But also you will find many other Digimon as you're wandering through and recruiting them to grow your cities. And there you have it. Those are just 5 early tips that I have for you if you're feeling a little bit confused and a little bit lost about Digital Tamers 2. Of course, there are many more tips I could give. What questions do you have or tips that you would recommend? Leave them down in the comments below. And as always, everyone, remember to be awesome. Oh, right. I promised you a tip 6 here right at the end. Yeah, for those of you who got to stick to the end, congratulations. When you're first defeating Shogungekumon and go into the swamp, you'll find Nanimon. Yeah, don't worry about him. It'll be a long, long time before you can recruit him. So don't be like me and sit there for for a long time trying to think that what he tells you is some sort of anagram that you have to mix up the letters and figure out something. It's not worth it. It won't work. Take care, everybody. Till the next one, stay awesome. Bye-bye.